Hello everyone, I'm the Viking General and this video is the second in the 3-part series about Matchlock units. If you haven't watched the first, I recommend you to do so before watching this one, since it will help a bit with understanding in this video. In this part we'll be taking a closer look at all the different Matchlock units available to us. Please remember to do all the YouTube algorithm pleasing things, although it also pleases me, and make sure you ring the bell to be notified when part 3 comes out. Also, before we begin, I hopefully succeeded in adding chapters to the progress bar, so you can skip ahead to the unit you're most interested in. Now, let's begin. Every clan has access to 4 different Matchlock units. The imported Matchlock Ashigaru, the regular Matchlock Ashigaru, the Matchlock Samurai, and the Tokitaka's Tanegashima. The imported Matchlock Ashigaru have slightly better range stats than the regular Matchlock Ashigaru, but have a bit lower morale and less men per unit. They also have higher recruitment and upkeep costs. The imported Matchlock Ashigaru requires the Nanban trade port building, which requires the trade with the Nanban event. It costs 4 turns and 450 koku to recruit for a non-Christian clan, but only 2 turns and 225 koku for a Christian clan. The Otomo have a clan bonus which allows them to recruit imported Matchlock Ashigaru in only a single turn. The regular Matchlock Ashigaru requires the Gunpowder Mastery art from the Bushido tree, but after that art has been researched, you can recruit the Matchlock Ashigaru in every province. The Matchlock Samurai require the Gunsmith building to be recruited, which also requires the Gunpowder Mastery art from the Bushido tree. They have the same unit size as the imported Matchlock Ashigaru and much better range stats. They have an upkeep of 150, which is the same as other samurai in the game. Besides a large boost in accuracy and a smaller one to reload scale, they also get access to the Rapid Volley ability, which temporarily gives them 15 extra reload scale. Another thing which sets the Matchlock Samurai apart are the somewhat decent melee skills, even slightly higher than the Bow Samurai. Their extra armor also gives them some protection from missile fire, but don't expect them to win a 1v1 against an archer unit. The Tokitaka Tanegashima requires the Arsenal building, which you can build in only one of your provinces. It has fantastic stats and are able to hold their own in melee against normal melee infantry. Most notably, they have an increased range, which allows them to dish out a lot of damage before the enemy can reach their lines. Next up are the clan unique units. The Ikko Matchlock Warrior Monk unit requires the Gunsmith building and the Jodo Shinsu Monastery, which requires the Essence of the Spirit art from the Way of the Chi tree. They lose the Fire by rank and Rapid Volley ability, but instead they gain increased range ability, which as the name suggests, temporarily increases their range. Even though they have much greater accuracy compared to a samurai unit, the loss of Fire by rank ability makes their damage output inconsistent. The biggest problem for this unit is its hefty upkeep cost, which is one of the highest upkeeps in the game. Next up, the Shimazu Heavy Gunners. They require the Gunsmith building and the Armory, which requires Heaven and Earth from the Bushido tree. They have a high price tag with a 200 Koku upkeep. They also have a very small unit size, but their shots are capable of hitting multiple targets and damaging buildings. Sadly, their multiple hitting shots don't always kill the model it hits, since most of the times it just knocks it to the ground. However, this is very useful for disrupting enemy formations. The Portuguese Tercos are probably the most overpowered unit in the game. While they do require a Nanban trade port, they also only need a Powder Maker, which is unlocked after the Attack by Fire art from the Bushido tree, which can be reached much earlier than the Gunpowder Mastery art. With an upkeep of only 150, the same melee attack and charge point of a Katana Samurai, and almost the same armor of a Naginata Samurai, higher accuracy and higher reloading skill than a Matchlock Samurai, it's no wonder these units will form the staple of any Otomo army. The only 2 disadvantages they have are their low melee defense and smaller unit size. But the good news for the Otomo doesn't stop there, since they can also recruit the Donderbuss Cavalry, which also only requires the Powder Maker and Warhorse Stables, which only requires the Warhorse resource. While their range stats don't seem like much, especially with their short range, they more than make up for it with their insane damage output. It's probably best to just show. Yes, they're basically using shotguns. They do need a lot of micro to be used, however, since they can be very fragile, especially from enemy missile fire, so don't use too many of them in a single army. Finally, rounding up the clan unique rosters are the Tokugawa mounted gunners. They require a gunsmith, a normal stables, but they do need access to the war horses to be recruited. This unit is basically the Donderbuss Cavalry light edition, with the same ranged stats but with normal guns. This also increases the range back to the standard 100 for most Matchlock units. However, they have the same upkeep as the Donderbuss Cavalry and much worse melee stats. Finally, we end with the clan variants. The Matchlock Ashigaru has 4 variants. The Hattori Matchlock Ashigaru, which is actually the same price as the base variant and gains Vanguard deployment. The Ultimo Matchlock Ashigaru, which only requires the Powder Maker, but this means it cannot be recruited in every province like other Matchlock Ashigaru units. It has slightly better stats than the base variant. The Oda Matchlock Ashigaru, which is cheaper and even better than the Ultimo variant, and the Ikko Matchlock Ashigaru, which has a larger unit size and more morale, but is pretty much useless. I generally don't like to dismiss a unit as useless, but it's just hard to justify using this unit, with abysmally low stats across the board. While the Ikko Ashigaru units usually start to outperform normal Ashigaru units when they get experience, the Ikko Ikki Matchlock Ashigaru will always be worse. The Matchlock Samurai have two variants. The Hattori variant, which is more expensive but has Vanguard deployment, and the Ultima variant, which has slightly better stats than the base variant but will probably never be recruited, since it's the only Matchlock unit in the Ultima roster which needs the gunsmith building and is outperformed by the Portuguese Tercos in every way. Sorry I might be a bit biased, please forgive me. Anyways, thank you for watching.